Unless you listen to left-handed radio, you won't know what left-handed radio is.
Forever. Dog.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast for Laundry from Prison. I'm your host, Brett Davis. I created this podcast to be listened to while you're doing your laundry, and I just happen to be doing it from prison. And I've got a very special guest joining us here at the Benjamin Ward Visit Center in Rikers Island. He's America's sweetheart, Dave Hill.
Hello.
Hey, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for making it out, making the trek.
Yeah.
This is not your first time in a prison.
No, I've been in prisons a lot.
A lot?
I mean, more than most people who don't work in the prison system or have been incarcerated.
Okay. Because you famously did a show in Sing Sing.
I've done stand-up at Sing Sing twice, and I played guitar at a men's and a women's prison in Mexico. Two different prisons. And I visited another prison called Bayview in Chelsea.
The guys talk about that, the older ones.
Yeah. And it got one of the hurricanes. It got damaged, and they closed it. But after I did Sing Sing, I wanted to do a show at a women's prison because Laura. Do you know Laura Kraft?
Yes.
She came to Sing Sing with me the first time, and she did not have fun. She just felt like very, because at Sing, they don't. I actually read a book about this guy who became a guard at Sing Sing so he could write a book about it. He's a journalist guy, Ted Conover, and he said like they're so hungry in every way for women that when they're out driving, or like in the bus coming from wherever, if they're on good behavior, they would drive them through town just so they can see any woman, like even an old lady, they'd be thrilled. So Laura came out to do a set, and she's a beautiful woman. She's wearing a lovely dress, and I think she felt, sort of like Bugs Bunny when one character hasn't eaten in a long time.
Oh yeah,
and the other one turns into a pork chop.
That actually literally happens to me in prison. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought it probably wouldn't be the same for me to just turn around and do a women's prison, but it made me think, I want to do a women's prison, and ended up not doing it.
Did you want to do that because you want all the women to look at you like you're a big pork chop?
No, though now that you phrase it like that, yeah, I know. I guess I wanted to see if there was like, I not that I think it would have been a parallel to what she experienced, but I thought, maybe it will be a different experience than Sing Sing was for me, which was a delight.
Yes. Well, let's get into that more. I just want to do a little housekeeping up top.
Sure.
In the middle of this table here in this visitor center, we've got a bottle of Bob Barker liquid detergent. Obviously, I would normally do a bottle of Tide. But we don't have Tide here. We've got this sort of industrial prison soap.
Sort of off-brand.
Off-brand, yeah. And it's not related to the game show host at all. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just another Bob Barker makes prison soap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So if at any point during the conversation you want to turn the tide, you grab old Bob Barker here and give him a spin.
And then what do you mean with that? We'll change the subject?
Yeah, I'll have to change the subject.
Oh, wow.
But you can only do it once.
Oh, okay. It's like a lifeline type thing.
It's sort of like a lifeline, yeah.
All right. That's good to know.
So let's talk a little bit about Sing Sing because we're deep in it.
Sure.
Walk me through your experience, because I know what my experience here at Rikers is like.
Well, I think the first time I went was 2009, maybe, or I think it was 2009. And it started off as like a joke. I thought like, or just I was just kidding with the idea of going to do stand up at Sing Sing, and I was just telling friends, or to stand up at a prison, and then they were like, laughing about it, and I love following through on dumb ideas, so I called a buddy of mine who's a cop, and I figured he would know the right things to say. So I called him. I was like, who do I ask for at prison if I want to do a show? And he said, I'll ask for the deputy of programs. They're sort of like the fun coordinator in prison. And so I did that, and I booked the show, and then, and it's a pain because they have to do like background checks and all this. So about a week before the show, I was like, oh man, this is a horrible idea. I think I want to cancel it. And then before I could, I got an email. They're like, hey, we're just checking in, see if you're still coming. All the guys are excited. And so yeah, I did it, and it was like, ended up being really fun, and I felt great after. Not like I had done anything special, like a good service for the world or anything like that, but I think I was so anxious about it, and then it was like a really
It's
good
almost
experience.
like when you go to a smaller town and they're just happy to see comedy.
I think, yeah, I think so.
Or music.
But there was that for sure, and then also because I had been warned that when they have entertainment come in, I don't think they'd had a comedian come in to Sing Sing since Mom's Mabley, like
wow.
in like the early 70s maybe.
Do you think they were looking at Mom's Mabley like she was a big pork chop?
I bet they were.
Yeah.
And so
she ain't having any of that though.
No, she shut them down. So, but I've been told, they'll get like theater groups and different groups in here. So, I've been warned, but because they can't leave the show. That like a guy can't be like, I'm gonna head back to my cell. It's like they're all there or they're all leaving. So I guess what they do is if they don't like a performance, they scare the performer off the stage. They end the show basically. They make it so that people are like, I'm out of here. So they apparently would like end plays, whatever's going on, if they weren't into it. So I was warned that could happen. And and so I was like, what? This is one thing I've learned, and this is experience I carry when I went to the Mexican prison. Same thing as one thing anywhere in the world, a bunch of dudes, no matter what they're into, will respect, is a sweet guitar solo. Even if they're not even into guitar solos, it's just a way to be like, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
And like I learned this in college because I had a roommate who was like a big football player, so I was like all these like jocks, like big football players coming, but I could play sweet guitar solos, so like, oh, this guy's cool. Like we will accept him. And so I just brought my guitar to Sing Sing, and I just played some solos before I said a word. And then my friend Carl Arnheider was with me also, and he was in the back, and he said, like before the show, the guard was like, this guy he really needs to like win them over right away, or it's not going to go well. And he said after I was playing the guitar, he said the guard came over, said to Carl, he's like, he's going to do fine. They respect him.
Wow.
So that's what I learned. And then so same thing when I was in the Mexican prison. I don't speak Spanish, so I couldn't tell any of my jokes.
Yeah.
My humor jokes.
And what spawned this trip?
That one was if you Google Robert Coogan, New York Times, Mexico.
I don't have internet access.
Oh, you can't, but your listeners could, I guess. There was an article a handful of years ago in the New York Times Magazine. Mm-hmm. Do you get that here?
I don't know if we do.
Oh,
I've never looked. You have to pay for it though, so.
Yeah, so, well, there's a big article. He's this guy that worked when I went to college.
I usually pay for Lorna Doones.
Yeah. Are they real Lorna Doones or off-brand?
They're real.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, it's not a bad cookie. Underrated.
Yeah. Pretty much spent all my money on the Lorna Doones. And Turge.
Turge?
Oh, what's your Turge?
What's Turge?
Detergent.
Oh, Turge. Oh, I don't even know what I use because I just drop it off. Not that I'm fancy, but I just got into the habit of it, and it's too late to turn back.
We can get back to this later. But you're talking about Mexico.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, this guy that worked at my college, I went to Fordham in the Bronx. He became a priest was stationed in. He went to Mexico to volunteer work, and then one thing led to another. He becomes a priest, and he's in this prison in northern Mexico, a town called Saltillo, and the cartel murdered the warden and took over the prison. Mm-hmm. And
I've got mixed feelings about that because I don't like when anyone's murdered, but
yeah,
it's sort of like the golden goose. Like,
yeah, it's one of those things.
You'd love to kill the warden.
Yeah, but it's so they took over, and the government just kind of stayed on the outside, and so he stayed being the chaplain at this prison through all this. Mm-hmm. So I read this article. And I got in touch with him. And I was like, I got to come down and see this. And so he's like, yeah, I think it would be okay. Because I figured if the New York Times reporter went,
yeah,
I'd probably be okay. So he's like, I think you'll be okay. And he's like, but I can't promise that because, if something goes wrong, I don't want you to be like, hey. Uh-huh. But so I went down there and I just played. They have... Mexican prisons is lousy with guitar everywhere, the guitars. So my friend was saying a mass. So I just sat in, I grabbed a guitar off the ground and sat in with the choir because they were all playing guitars. And then afterwards he left and I played guitar for the inmates for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And, but it was, they're just they just started playing chords, and I started soloing as fast as I could and they were into it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was, I will say it was kind of an intense experience in a way that was not, I wasn't uplifted by it too much by the time I left because my friend ended up, he had this recently released inmate staying with him, and this long story. He had another guy there, another former inmate who stole money from him, so he had to kick him out. Mm-hmm. And so with that money, the guy bought beer and then split the beer with the guy that's still living there. So then the guy that was kicked out was like, "Hey, you owe me money, that beer money, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to come and kill everybody." Uh-huh. So, and this comes in while we're all just sitting there having beers, So I'm like, well, how much money is it? It was 300 pesos. Whatever it was the equivalent of $25. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, he's going to pay him, right? and my friend Bob was like, no, if he pays him, that's just going to show him that this sort of tactic is effective. And I was like, it seems pretty effective.
It's sort of, you won't know until the end result.
Yeah. Well, because I said, are you sure? And he's like, well, you only get one chance to be wrong about this sort of thing. So I was like, well, let me pay the money. They're like, no, we're not paying. And so, and I was like, well, if he's that broke if he didn't have even $25. Like, he probably didn't have a gun. And he's like, no, he didn't have a gun. Like, it's Mexico. He'd kill us with a machete. So, but the guy called the other guy and was like, I'm going to come over. I'm going to kill everybody. And I'm going to trash the apartment, which it's like, fine.
Everybody, does this include you now?
Me. Well,
okay.
Yeah, well, I was like, it's just you guys, right? You guys are caught up in this. I'm not caught up in this. So they're like, no, he'd kill you too. You're here. And so I was like, oh, man. And so there was like a 24-hour period where I was like, oh, shit, like some guy is going to murder us. And sort of the darkness of all that, it ruined the trip, I'd have to say.
I'm sorry.
Ruined the
Yeah.
Well, it just kind of made it like, oh, man.
I had a trip recently that was kind of ruined by a similar scenario.
Yeah. It's a trip. What happened with you?
No, we don't need to talk about it.
But anyway, so it wasn't quite. And plus, it's just, so it was interesting, but it wasn't as uplifting, I would say.
But you went back.
I didn't go back to Mexico.
Okay.
I probably will at some point. But I did go back to Sing Sing. And I did another show. But that show, it's interesting. Like, the first show was really well promoted. Like, I made a flyer, and the next one was not. I thought it was the first show was like 300 dudes.
Yeah. Second
show, year and a half, 2 years later, was like maybe like 150, and I was like, what happened? That, and they're like, oh, it's like you have to get there's different clubs. There's like the African American club, there's the Chinese club, there's the Rasta club, there's this, it's like a college or whatever, and like
Islamic club.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm in.
You're in that one.
Yeah.
So so they I guess all the clubs like will get on board and help promote the shows, and that's what happened the first time. And they're like, this second time they're like, oh, it wasn't really very well organized.
What club were you repping that time?
I wasn't. I guess a bunch of the clubs helped out the first time. The second time,
was there a race noticeably missing from the makeup of the audience? Or a type of dude?
No, I would say there's not. Didn't seem to be. It's like there's all sorts of guys, all sorts of races at Sing Sing.
That's good because your comedy's pretty universal.
It's universal. I mean, yeah, that's my audience, I would say.
Comedy knockout.
Comedy knockout. Yeah. So, but what I did is I just, it's like doing if you do a gig at a college or a corporate gig or something, you just find out about the different dorms and stuff. I just did that, and I found out like, oh, this cell block is these guys. Solitary's the box, and just make jokes about that for a few minutes, and then they're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
What's weird since I've been here, I feel like I stopped identifying as a comedian at some point over the fall or winter when all my friends started to stop talking to me. But I did sort of embrace the laundry side a lot. But I am a comedian,
Yeah, I don't think that'll
It did
leave
say
you.
in the New York Times when they talked about my rumored crimes that comedian Brett Davis.
See?
So, I don't know why I haven't really thought to do a performance. I could probably skip a lot of these steps because I already know everybody.
Yeah, I would think that things are teed up pretty well for you to do a show.
Plus, maybe they have had comedians come in. I don't know. Never really asked about it, but they probably never had a alt comedian come in.
No, but I can tell you from experience, they're open to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was sort of the original thing was we thought the reason it was such a bad idea is like alt comedy in a prison.
Yeah.
That's not going to go well at all. But I'm living proof.
Well, I'd say you transcend the alt.
I know that's true. That's true. It's a global
but
phenomenon.
I tend to skew a bit more esoteric.
Sure.
Yeah. But I wonder. Now, you said the thing that really cinched him was the guitar playing.
Yeah, that's what set him at ease.
Okay. So the problem with me is I don't know how to play guitar.
Well, you probably have the time, right?
Yeah, but I don't have a guitar. It's not like a Mexican prison where they're just floating around.
Yeah, they're just willy-nilly everywhere. How long are you in for?
Maybe a year, maybe less with good behavior.
Yeah, just get one when you get out.
Well, I want to do it, while I'm here. And
while you have the time.
Because I've established a good relationship with everybody because I am the guy that does everyone's laundry here.
Do you do it like it's your job, or you do it because
it's a job and an art?
But I mean, like, are you assigned it by the prison, or is it because everyone made you their bitch?
No, I'm no one's bitch.
Right.
I was assigned by the prison because they knew about it, because I had to ask them if I could do this podcast here.
Gotcha.
Like, what's it about? And I said, murder. And then there was a weird thing. And then I said, no, it's about laundry. And they let me do it. And they were like, well, you might as well work in the laundry room. And, people like their clothes cleaned.
Yeah, who doesn't,
Yeah. But,
checks out.
Maybe I can make everybody like me just a little more. Get some of these assholes off my back.
Yeah.
Carlos Delgado.
Which guy is that? What did he do again?
I don't know what he's in for. We are just sort of enemies.
Sometimes it's the littlest thing.
Yeah.
In prison.
I gave him a black dahlia.
What is that? Is that like a sex thing?
To some. I kind of give him a big like Joker smile.
Oh,
but he was fucking with me. I don't mean
you carved up his face.
I carved up his face a little.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But he had it coming.
Yeah,
I made a shiv.
A shiv?
Yeah, there's some spare parts in the laundry room that were just floating around. I'm like, these people are making weapons out of nothing. I got a like jagged piece of metal, so I just kept sharpening that while I was doing the loads, and took care of my problem.
Good for you.
Yeah. But anyway, I could really make people more impressed if I did a show, did some of my patented alt comedy.
Yeah.
As seen in Splitsider. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'd see Splitsider, but it is, I think it is a
Splitsider like
comedy record. Yeah, I mean, the Splitsider is written about me. I know it's not like competition.
It's not. I mean, I would assume they'd written about you.
I would hope so.
Why'd you mention it?
I'm insecure.
Oh, cool.
Just because you were like, "Oh, I'm Splitsider."
Yeah.
So I had to be like, I've been on Splitsider.
What's happening on Insecure lately? Is there a new season out?
What's on this?
Issa Rae
on Insecure?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of changes.
I don't know if I want it spoiled or if I just want to wait.
I would wait.
Okay.
Binge it.
I'll binge it, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've I don't know how to play guitar, but I can dance pretty cool.
Well, that's another universal thing.
Yeah.
Guitar solos and dancing.
Yeah, it's sort of like this. Imagine if Michael Jackson sort of met with Mick Jagger, sort of met with like Elvis, really? It's a very pelvic. I know that much.
A pelvic.
But then there's like strutting and like sort of like a glam like attitude, but then like, just a little bit of breakdancing and like that sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
This sounds great.
So I would start the show off at maybe get one of the guys that knows how to beatbox and just kind of give me a beat and then just kind of strut, dig, pelvic throws, and then tell some jokes.
Yeah. This sounds perfect.
Yeah.
You should do it tonight.
Maybe it will.
Wait, get a few more loads done.
I mean, I've got a job to do, yeah, but I'm usually finished around 6 p.m. Yeah. And then there's that free hour where, guys are mostly just watching Netflix.
They have Netflix in
They've
prison?
got one TV. And, we don't always get to watch what we want.
No, I would. You know what when I was Sing Sing, this is a true story. They were talking about when they watch television, the only thing they watch is sports or 2.5 Men.
Okay.
Because those are the only things that everyone can agree on.
Interesting.
Yeah, everyone.
I would be the one sole voice saying 2.5 Men kind of sucks.
Well, I wouldn't say that too loud at Sing Sing. I mean, it's probably not on the air. It's over, right? But maybe there's reruns. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. What were we watching recently? Dear White People.
What's that?
It's a Netflix show.
Oh, I think I saw an ad for that in the subway.
I keep trying to get everybody to watch that remixed Arrested Development.
What is that?
Oh, they remixed all the episodes of season 4.
I think I heard about that.
I heard about it too, but I haven't seen it.
What do you mean they just re-edited them?
Yeah.
To be different storylines?
To be more linear storytelling.
Oh, so...
opposed to character specific.
Oh, I think I would understand it better that way.
Me too.
I prefer... I feel like Hitchcock is always like super linear. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Tippi Hedren shows up to town with birds.
Yeah.
Everything goes haywire.
We're not opening on a bunch of, feathers in a...
No, you don't
street.
need to remember anything.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to be like, oh yeah, that's that guy from before. Not going to happen.
We were watching this Ozark, which the guys love. Speaking of Jason Bateman, I'm like, this guy's in another show.
Excuse me.
Let me smell your cunt.
That's how he says, bless you.
Oh, jeez.
That's fine.
I mean,
but
I understand it's different in here.
Yeah, the rules are a little different.
I'll say.
But you should know that. I'm sure somebody said that to you.
Yeah. Oh,
after
yeah.
One of your visits, you must have
That
sneezed.
was, there's a lot of it. Pendejo.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got called that a lot.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Carlos Delgado
I
says
don't
it
think
almost...
it's good.
He says it almost every time he sees me, but not
my
anymore.
sense is it's not good. At all.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. But we watch this Ozark. It's so hard to follow.
What's Ozark? That's a show?
It's Jason Bateman, and, there's some murder, and he has to relocate.
Wait, so but he's not playing his Arrested Development character. Is it a comedy?
It's not a comedy, no.
It's a serious show.
Yeah.
Hi, Forever Dog listeners. It's Meatball and Big Dipper.
That's right, I'm here too. So this year, we have seen what staying silent can do. Oof. Woof. And right now, you have an unprecedented opportunity to speak up. We all do. So make sure to cast your vote and be heard this November.
It's never too early to register to vote, but it might be too late before you know it.
Right, so we want to help make it easy for you to register and have a plan for November 3rd, or before if you're doing early voting as an option in your state.
Yes, Queen, please do.
Right, it's important to vote so that your country can finally reflect your values.
So go to foreverdogpodcast.com/vote to register. Check on your registration often and learn how to fill out your ballot.
That's right. If you haven't registered to vote yet, this is a really easy way to do it. And it feels like it's not outside your comfort zone because you love podcasts, you listen to our podcast, and you can do it very easily at foreverdogpodcast.com/vote. And remember, each state is different, so make sure you are following your local rules and regulations for where you register to vote.
Yeah, and take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And make sure to vote because there's a demon in the office.
It's Jonathan Braylock,
James III,
and Gerard Milligan from Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood.
On our podcast, we rate, review, and analyze films in the context of race.
Discussing Hollywood's diversity and representation issues.
And talk to experts in the field.
Experts like ourselves because we're working actors and writers, so we know what we're talking about.
Except James.
We vary it up between huge blockbuster hits and beloved cult classics such as Higher Learning,
Independence Day,
Loose,
Sorry to Bother You,
Blade,
Parasite,
Blind Spotting,
Hustlers,
and Cats. Yes, y'all, we reviewed Cats.
and don't forget Hancock, which may or may not be a good movie.
It's not a good movie, so please check out and subscribe to Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood.
Only on the Forever Dog Podcast Network.
And we'll all try to figure out if Hancock is a good movie or not. Together.
New episodes every Monday.
This ad is supposed to remind you of hackers and shows about hackers. Listen to Left-Handed Radio.
I want to see this.
I'd like to think it could be the same character. Maybe just a few years later.
Man, this sounds like a good show.
You know what we haven't talked about?
What?
Laundry.
No, bring it on.
Okay, so you don't have a turd, you do drop off, whatever.
I used to like that bold detergent because it makes your clothes smell like they've been cleaned.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that when you get it back and you're like, whoa, this stuff is pretty clean.
Yeah. Are you saying the brand Bold or just a Bold detergent?
Both.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I get my laundry back and there's like other people's clothes in it, like a stray sock or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometime I'll do, my due diligence and return the sock to the laundromat and be like, hey, someone's sock. And, but in my experience, I've lost many socks and I've never gotten them back. So sometimes I just say, you know what? They're never getting this sock back.
It's almost as if, and I love the people that work at laundromats, but it's, if I walked into a restaurant that looked like most laundromats, I wouldn't eat there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you raised your... That's what happened is like, I used to always do my own laundry, and then on my block, my old apartment, there was a drop-off laundry place, and then further down the block, there was a place where you could either drop it off or do your laundry there. They had 4 machines, but then
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Sorry, just New York's great. There's so many laundry options.
Yeah. It's I had the ladies do my laundry once, and then they're always, guys get so mad when you try to do your own laundry because you're in their way and stuff. And then once I did that, I was like afraid to do my laundry myself again.
Yeah.
And so I just started dropping it off, and they liked me a lot more once I started doing that. They weren't so cold to me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then the other place, the drop-off place, they're both now like restaurants or something. Yeah. No, one of them is like a fragrance store. You okay?
It's just New York.
Yeah, it turns over fast.
Yeah.
If you have a laundry place, don't get too attached to it in New York. That's been my experience.
That sucks.
You'll see when you're back on the streets.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. What if my place is closed by the time I'm out?
Well, you've mastered doing laundry, I would assume.
Well, yeah, but I got my spots.
Yeah. That's something to think about.
It sucks. What's your first memory of doing laundry?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Well, when we were kids, I have a brother and 3 sisters. We were supposed to do chores, and there's a chart like your chore would change.
Oh yeah,
every week.
Been there.
And laundry was I didn't do any of my chores really, but laundry we just had a massive a table with just everyone's clothes, just massive piles, because no one would fold the laundry. It would get washed, and then you would just go and be like, "That's my underwear. That's mine. That's mine." And so that's my memory, is going down and kind of just picking clothes out of the pile, and you'd see everyone's underwears. And
Yeah. No, I did all my family's laundry growing up.
you did,
Yeah.
Oh.
They dropped me off every Saturday.
They dropped you off at a laundromat.
Yeah.
Or
For
oh,
the
wow.
evening, then they go to Ruby Tuesday, which is kind of across
It's
the
good.
street,
Yeah, you go, you get a burger. Or really, I always say, if you can't find something you like at Ruby Tuesdays, then you don't like food.
Yeah. I've never eaten there.
Oh, just your family would go there?
Yeah.
Oh, while you were doing laundry?
Yeah. But it taught me respect.
Yeah, but I mean, it's no surprise how you wound up in jail, though.
I don't see a correlation.
I mean, you were just marginalized, I think, at an early age. How old were you when this was happening?
I was roughly around like 5.
Yeah, I mean, that'll stick with you,
Yeah.
I would think.
But I love laundry now, is the thing.
Oh, okay.
It's my true passion in life.
Oh, so you must be having a pretty good time in jail.
Yeah. I'm sort of the king around here. And I'll be the emperor once I do this show.
Yeah. Well, what happens if you... Do you ever mess with people's laundry?
No. I have a line. I'll fuck up Carlos Delgado's face, but I won't fuck with his, bedding or linens or
Wow.
clothes.
Respect.
Yeah.
I like that.
Even I washed the blood from his prison uniform.
After you slashed his face.
Yeah. It felt good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very like a Zen thing.
Yeah. I think that is almost the definition of Zen. Yeah. Because I was at peace
Yeah.
for myself.
That's beautiful.
You ever slashed a guy?
No. One time and I still feel bad about this, I heated up a dime on the stove and then put it on a baseball card and handed it to my brother. And, he's like, ow.
Was the card hot, or was it just that was your delivery method?
Because so it wouldn't burn my hand.
I see. Does he still have a mark from it?
I don't think so, but it's a really mean thing that's probably the meanest thing I've ever done.
No, it's fun. I actually had the same thing when I was a kid. If I fucked up the laundry, my mom would heat up a fork and she would press it into my back. Did you see Black Panther?
I haven't seen it yet. I probably will, I guess.
There's a character, Michael B. Jordan's character in the movie. It was one of the last things I saw before getting in here.
So you got in here pretty recently.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's been a couple weeks.
Oh, wow.
And I'm already running the place. But yeah, he's got all these sort of scars on his body for every time he killed a guy. He's like a soldier or something. And I've got scars every time I fuck up laundry. And I'll just say I've got less scars.
Well, that's impressive.
But I still keep up the tradition.
Now, when you say fuck up laundry, do you mean like intentionally, or like when you've done like washed?
If I find
like darks with lights, fucking up that way.
If I find pieces of a receipt just floating around, that's a burn. If I see, if there's just a penny rolling around in there, that's a burn. Missing a sock at the end of it, that's a burn. Yeah. Do you want to see my scars?
Sure.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy is.
Yeah, he just kind of hangs out here.
I mean, I guess.
I think he's a fan of the podcast, really.
How do they listen to your podcast?
They don't, but
They're just a fan that it's happening.
Yeah, he somehow always happens to have the same visitation hours as me, so I see you. I see you. Yep. He's good. Good people.
What's his name?
Reggie.
Reggie.
Yeah.
Like Mr. October.
I'm familiar.
Reggie Jackson.
Oh, okay. I don't like sports.
Oh, he is
The guys around here, they love sports, but
yeah.
you know, it's we got the Netflix TV. There's not a lot of sports content on there
Yet.
There's more coming, because that's bad news for me.
I would think. Eventually.
There's some documentaries and stuff.
I like a documentary.
Yeah. What are your favorite documentaries?
Gosh. Now that this is where it gets hard.
Uh-huh.
Trying to think of what's my favorite one, or
Like
even a one.
Like a Man on Wire, or the one where the guy cuts his
Man
arm
on
off.
Wire. That's the one about the guy who walked between the towers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he fall eventually?
I don't think so. Maybe he did.
I have it in my head
survived,
that somebody died when I was a kid.
I mean, I think
I mean, a lot of people died when I was a kid, but I mean, from falling from a thing. What's it called? Wire.
my favorite documentary is called Dirty Laundry.
What's that about?
It's about these two cousins, and they go on a biking journey from Astoria, Oregon, to New York City.
Uh-huh.
And it's just talking to a lot of laundromat owners and stuff on the way, I think.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So it's a laundry-centric journey?
It's a laundry-centric journey because they're traveling via bike. So, every time they, want to stop. And they make tons of stops at different laundromats.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they keep doing that? Just to talk to the owner?
Love. It's a corridor of dreams.
It is.
Yeah.
It's probably a good place to meet people.
It's a great place to meet people. Most of my friends not these days, but, once I started losing a general reputation in the comedy community for, different outbursts and stuff, most of my friends were people at laundromats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
In fact, if I really wanted this podcast to be what I want it to be, I'd be interviewing those people, but, you gotta get the big guns like you, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he doesn't have a gun.
A spike.
He doesn't have a
let's
gun.
to be clear.
Yeah.
Do you ever do hand wash delicates?
Yeah.
Do a
I mean, we don't really have...
cashmere sweater or something?
Yeah, I'll do cashmere sweater. Do you have any tips?
No, I don't even have a cashmere sweater. I was just curious.
Oh, you gotta get a cashmere sweater.
I know. It is sort of a basic.
Yeah. You could wash them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In woolite or something. I'll wash a shirt in the sink.
Yeah.
Just woolite it.
How about this? Do you ever have any laundry problems that make you go, bleach, please? Hold for bumper. Hold for bumper. This is a segment of the show. It's called Bleach, Please. What makes you say, bleach, please?
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you want your whites really white, you bleach, please.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But then my mother taught me if you put too much bleach in, then it ruins them.
Well, yeah.
Clothes.
Bleach is it's a chemical. So you don't really need just a dabble, do you?
Yeah, I'd steer clear of it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Got to.
You ever experiment with bleach? Michael Jackson style?
No.
I have.
Oh, like my butt?
Sure.
I don't know if he did his butt, but that's just where my... Seems like people get that.
He did his butt.
You think he got his butt bleached?
I'd say so.
Would it be just the same? Would it be the same kind of bleach?
No, I think it's a different skin bleach, but I've experimented with bleach.
Huh? How so?
Put it on my skin, smoke a little bit of it, drink some of it, and see how much I can take.
What's the threshold?
Say 1 capful of bleach.
Is about it.
Yeah, that's what I can take without my parts of my body's resistance really fighting back and vomiting it up.
Yeah, I'd steer clear of that. I gotta be honest.
No, if you grow a tolerance to something that may hurt you, but that you love, then eventually you can build it up so that stuff is always part of you. Like a laundry detergent or
Karen. For me.
Oh.
It's not important.
Do you want
to... this is when I spin the box.
Oh.
What's that called?
It's turning the tide.
Turning the tide. Yeah, I need to turn the tide.
I want to turn the tide.
Talk about Karen.
I don't want to talk about tidy.
What?
What?
No, I just didn't want to talk about Karen.
Yeah, and I didn't want to talk about Karen either.
Okay, so we're in agreement about that.
Cool. Do you have anything you need to get off your chest? If you do, we can air it out on the clothesline. Hold for bumper.
Let's think.
What do you want to air out? You've got an audience of laundry heads.
There was in high school. There was a literary quarterly.
Yeah.
And there was a kid who tried to write kind of like Stephen King-esque stuff, like with graphic violence and stuff, but, sort of horror type stuff. And I wrote a letter to the school paper kind of making fun of him. Mm-hmm. And, it was full of jokes and stuff, because I just thought he was going for shock factor or whatever it's called. And, but looking back on it, I think that was a really mean thing to do, even though I was just kind of using it as a way to write something funny. Mm-hmm. I think I was just jealous of his confidence in doing what he wanted.
I feel like that's a pretty common thing for comedians, is that you've got all these, humor is the delivery method, but I think early on you might be a little too harsh to some people, or maybe.
Yeah. And so I regret that, because I hope that he wasn't affected in any way by that, in a way that stopped him from doing what he wanted. Mm-hmm. Or if anything, I hope that it emboldened him to do what he wanted even more. But I hope, he's probably not thinking about it, but
you think about it.
But I think about it because I think, oh, that was mean. Why would I make fun of another artist?
You're not a king of zing.
No, I don't like zings.
Yeah.
Really? I think if I ever really want to zing someone, I would have to really not like them. And then I think when I really don't like someone or something, I just
cut them.
Just mad, and I cut them.
Yeah.
With words.
Oh, sure.
Or just cut them. Yeah. Send an angry tweet.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I meant cut more literally.
What did you call it? The Black Dahlia?
Yeah.
Cutting across the face.
It's like the Black Dahlia murders.
Right.
I got really into them a couple months ago.
What do you mean into them?
Just people were telling me about the Black Dahlia murders, and I became obsessed.
Uh-huh.
Not because I'm a murderer. I'm not a murderer.
Right. Why are you here? Did we discuss that?
Oh, I broke into Pat Burns' house and I masturbated.
You're in prison because you masturbated at Pat Burns' house?
Well, it's considered a sex crime and also breaking and entering, so stack those two on top of each other. It's a year-long sentence in prison.
Why? I don't know. Why was it interesting.
Yeah.
Why did you masturbate in front of him?
He saw. I masturbated a couple times.
Okay.
But if you want to check that out, please visit our Patreon, where you can catch the audio of that and also brand new episodes of Cereal the Podcast, a podcast about breakfast cereal.
I think I did that one.
I don't think so, because I'm going to ask you to do it immediately after this.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you could stick around.
I love cereal.
You know, you were talking about literary magazines.
Sure.
And I made a submission to one.
What one?
It was a just like my high school's literary quarterly, if that's what you call it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I wrote a poem about laundry.
You did?
Yeah.
Can you read it for me now?
I can. Let me see if I remember it. Today feels like a day to unplug the dryer and hang laundry on the line in the backyard next to the busy street where all the truckers and farmers and school kids drive by. But I don't have a clothesline.
Wait, school kids and farmers drive by?
Yeah, I was sort of imagining a world where I was sort of in the country where I'd have a clothesline.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And so the kids are in high school?
Yeah.
Driving.
And they all thought I was pretty lame.
Huh. I think it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Your reading of it was very nice, too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've written a lot of laundry poetry. I usually don't show that side of me because it makes me feel vulnerable.
Well, you should be confident about it. It's strong.
Thank you. Sounds like a bearing's going bad, the serviceman says. But he's just here to empty errant
don't read
coins.
another one. Is that another one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't really.
You didn't want more?
No, go ahead.
No, we don't have to do it.
No. It's...
Do you have any plugs you want to make?
Plugs? Of like stuff?
Sounds like a bearing's going, the serviceman says, but he's just here to empty errant coins from the washer pump. Indifferent, the disenchanting scrape. He could fix it, he supposed, but he may as well bear with it until it breaks. Won't ruin anything, after all, and before long, he won't even notice it's there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I regret stopping you at first, because I might like that one even better than the first one.
Thank you, yeah. But yeah, you have plugs.
Oh, sure.
Got your WFMU show?
Yeah, Monday nights, WFMU, 9 to midnight.
Wash some dirty clothes.
Wow,
Gather
going to England tomorrow, but this will
Diaper
air.
a soft pink bottom.
Wait,
Change
I'm
the
sorry, I
seats.
missed a couple of those early lines.
Pluck a few stray eyebrows. Wonder why. Feed hungry mouse. Drink some black tea. Pick crumbs off the couch. Change the batteries. Wander room to room. Shampoo little blonde hairs.
Huh.
Kiss tidy goodbye.
Kiss who goodbye?
What?
Who are you kissing?
Goddamn Dave Hill show.
Oh yeah, Mondays.
Yeah. And you don't need to listen live. You could check out the archives, right?
Right, or listen on iTunes or at WFMU.org.
And you're a writer yourself. You've written 2 books now.
Writing a third right now. I was working on it right before I came here.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are those names if people want to check
I'm glad
out
you
your writing?
asked. Tasteful Nudes is the first one. I think it came out 6 years ago, almost to the day.
Wow.
Yeah. Within a day or two, I think. And then the other one's called Dave Hill Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Both arms with dirty clothes and stuff them in the washer. Brim the
What's that?
detergent.
Sorry, what was that?
Bleach it. I'm just recalling all these poems now. And we're talking about your books.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about my writing.
No, those are great.
Yeah, but if people want to check these out, are they still readily available?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got a great band?
Couple great bands.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Valley Lodge. Pain Doll.
30 minutes or an hour, the diet trainer will drink.
You're trying now. I can't really hear you as well.
I'm trying to. 30 minutes later, the dryer will ding. Leave the wet mess on the floor. But wait, dryer is already packed because you forgot to fold the last load. Divest the dryer, fold the clean clothes, arranging them in the piles. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Divest the dryer.
Yeah,
That's really good.
thank you. I appreciate it.
That.
But yeah,
I've never heard those words together, but I love it.
you were talking about your music.
Oh, yeah. Couple bands.
One for him.
Unless you count Witch Taint. That has to be the third.
Oh yes, Witch Taint.
Yeah.
The show you've got big performances coming up.
Big.
Huge.
Yeah.
Epic.
London next week. Then we go to Germany in August.
And this is a big music festival.
Yeah, the Wacken Open Air Festival.
And who are you sharing the stage with?
Well, I think there's some sort of raffle immediately before us.
Okay. Maybe more generally.
Oh, Judas Priest,
yeah.
Danzig,
Yeah, the dryer is void.
Dawkins.
Fill it. Sit down
Who
again.
else?
When the dinger dings,
A lot of
ignore
the
it.
other ones.
Forget to clear the dryer.
That sounds a bit like the other poem.
That was the end of it.
Oh, okay. It's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, thanks so much for coming out to Rikers.
Yeah, thanks. I mean,
If you want, I could see if I could direct you to whomever if you want to do a show here.
sure.
But I'd ask you do it after mine.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So I wouldn't do it tonight or anything.
No.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
Because I might do it tonight.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Well, once you get the laundry done.
I'll do... I don't even need to really... I'll do some comedy. I'll do some of these poems, maybe.
I would. Sure. Yeah.
And then,
See what happens.
Close it with a cool dance.
I would open with a dance, to be honest. What's it? You're just sort of mapping it out in your head?
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like a good dance. I mean, just based on the ounces
Yeah.
or whatever.
No, I was thinking
that you've
like,
done.
I'll just do it for you. Let me smell your cunt. He likes it. Yeah.
That guy, what? Now, all right.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you. I hope I did all right.
You were a great guest.
Sometimes I worry my blood sugar drops too much. Not my usual.
I'd offer you
energy.
a Lorna Doone, but it's sort of one of the few things I have.
Yeah, I don't want to learn it, dude.
Okay. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram at Forever Dog Team and liking our page on Facebook.
I have only one question for you. Are you going to listen to Left-Handed Radio? If yes, listen to Left-Handed Radio. If not,
Why not?